The moment ageism stops being an insult and starts being an expense, that is the moment dignity takes over. Better than shouting, the rule that ends the argument. In 24 hours, accountability in the event hall. We are taught to feel fury when dismissed, but fury is loud and documentation is quiet. Fury creates drama, but clear policy creates consequence. When you face the condescending tone, the sudden removal of authority, or the casual dismissal that treats your competence as invisible, your first instinct is usually fire. But fire burns your evidence. We shift the outcome by recognizing that the most powerful tools are small, silent, and easily tucked into an inside pocket. A specific rule number, a copy of a deed, a contract date, a camera set to record, or 3 calm words that demand the ultimate accountability. I've seen the shift happen. The instant the arrogant planner or the disrespectful relative realizes they've miscalculated the cost of contempt. I've watched a crowded, noisy room go entirely silent, frozen, because one quiet person produced one piece of laminated proof. The day the venue spoke, Elias was a man of clean lines and quiet success. He was a retired infrastructure consultant, a major philanthropist, and the kind of person who understood the plumbing and the power grid better than the CEO on the stage. Now, he was just the older gentleman in the corner at a high-profile charity gala held in the city's premier convention center. The event was run by a high-energy, ruthless young coordinator named Tara. Tara believed chaos was kept at bay through sheer force of will, usually aimed at anyone who wasn't currently holding a microphone. Elias was observing when he noticed a serious policy breach. A massive floral installation, beautiful but dangerous, was partially blocking the fire exit to the loading bay. This wasn't just a violation, it was a catastrophic liability. Elias approached Tara during a brief lull, keeping his voice low and steady. "Excuse me, Tara. I need to point out the exit hazard by the north loading bay. It needs to be cleared immediately. NFPA code requires—" Tara didn't even turn fully around. Her eyes remained locked on staff she felt were socializing too much. "Sir, please. We're in the middle of a live broadcast. Everything is controlled. Stay clear of the staging areas, okay?" Her tone dripped with patient, patronizing annoyance. "You're just distracting the staff." Elias tried again, citing the exact code section. "It's a catastrophic safety risk, and the facility contract is explicit about maintaining ingress-egress integrity." Tara finally turned, her hands flying up in disbelief. She looked Elias up and down, seeing only an inconvenient old man interfering with her perfection. "Look, Elias," she said, pronouncing his name like a chore. "I appreciate you being concerned, but this is my job. If you continue to interrupt my flow, I'll have security. Escort you out. Go enjoy the dessert station. Everything is handled. The common mistake here is internalization. The common mistake is fighting the insult. I am not distracting. I know more than you." That is exactly what Tara expected. Defensiveness, a raised voice, and finally retreat. Elias did none of those things. He took 3 calm steps back, out of the immediate tension zone. This was the moment the injustice solidified into evidence. Silence is evidence. Tara's arrogance had now become a quantifiable liability. She hadn't just dismissed a guest, she had refused to remediate a serious safety hazard after being specifically warned. Elias did 2 things immediately. First, he pulled out his phone, already set up with a shortcut to his note-taking app. He typed, date, time, 7:48 p.m. Location, Ballroom North exit. Incident description, blocked exit, NFPA code cited. Tara, event coordinator, refused action and threatened removal. Silence is evidence when it is documented in real time. Second, he found Mark, the facility manager, a tired man whose job was to ensure Tara didn't burn the building down. Mark, recognizing the tension, immediately tried to placate Elias with generalities. "I'm sure Tara knows what she's doing, sir. It's a tight schedule." This was the moment for the neutral phrase, the one that policy beats ego. Elias lowered his voice, making Mark lean in. Mark, I need you to retrieve 2 items for me immediately. The venue's master emergency operations policy and the name of the designated legal contact for the building's primary tenant. This is non-negotiable. Mark blinked. The request wasn't emotional or aggressive. It was procedural. It was the language of insurance and litigation. Sir, I can't just hand over. Yes, you can. Elias interrupted gently. I am documenting this refusal too. The question is whether you want to be on the side of compliance or on the side of the event planner who is currently breaching the contract. This is the shift. Elias did not argue his person or his age. He cited the policy and requested the accountable person. Mark reluctantly called his supervisor, who then called the venue director, Ms. Chen. Ms. Chen arrived minutes later, agitated and trying to manage the situation away from the guests. She saw Elias, a distinguished older man, and Mark, clearly flustered. She assumed Elias was a difficult donor, having a minor outburst. Mr. Elias, I apologize for any inconvenience. We will move the flowers immediately. Let's not make this a scene, okay? She offered a manufactured corporate smile. Elias nodded, calm courage radiating off him. He reached into his inner suit pocket and retrieved not a weapon, not a letter of complaint, but a single, heavy master key card. He placed it on the small cocktail table between them. The key caught the soft overhead light. He then handed Ms. Chen a crisp, legal-sized document, folded neatly, inside a manila envelope. I am glad you will move the flowers, Ms. Chen, Elias said. His voice never rose above a conversational low tone. But the inconvenience isn't the issue. The liability and the contempt are the issue. The sentence that stops the table. Ms. Chen looked down at the documents. The keycard was a facility master key, authorized for high-level management access. Her brow furrowed, confusion deepening to dread as she opened the envelope. Inside was a current lease agreement, not for the gala, but for the entire building. Ms. Chen's eyes scanned the final signature line, the line that named the entity holding the 99-year ground lease and controlling all primary building policies and maintenance contracts. The leaseholder wasn't some distant rate. It was the Elias Foundation. The realization hit Ms. Chen hard. This wasn't a guest she was placating. This was the landlord. This was the person whose signature controlled her job, Mark's job, and the venue's existence. Elias then delivered the sentence that stopped the table, the sentence that erased the ageist narrative entirely. Ms. Chen, I require 3 things. 1. The immediate removal of the hazard. 2. A written confirmation from your legal team that event coordinator Tara has violated Section 4, Subclause C of the venue use agreement. And 3. A full cancellation of Tara's firm's contract, effective immediately, for gross negligence and willful disregard of safety standards. He paused, letting the silence hang heavy. I am not upset. I am enforcing policy. The best justice tool doesn't shout. It cites the rule. Ms. Chen stammered, profusely apologizing for the coordinator's lack of respect. She was seeing competence, authority, and big assets, bigger dignity. The story was no longer about an old man complaining. It was about a competent business principle, enforcing a contract due to documented failure. Within the hour, the flowers were gone. Tara, who was still managing the dessert station chaos, suddenly found herself being escorted out by Mark, pale and avoiding her eyes. Her company badge, flashing under the hall lights, was removed near the main entrance. Tara's ego had cost her the contract and the house. This is the power of documentation and positional authority, even when that authority is hidden behind the veneer of age. The day the deed spoke, the game changed. The Justice Prep, a 10-minute ritual. You don't get dignity by demanding it. You earn it by preparing for it. Before you enter any high-stakes interaction, whether it's a family meeting about finances, a corporate review, or confronting a biased facility manager, prepare for justice. This is your 10-minute ritual for safety, clarity, and leverage. 1. Center and ground. 2 minutes. Find a quiet corner. Practice centered breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Adjust your posture. Stand or sit with your spine straight, shoulders back. Your posture communicates certainty. Note the sensation of being grounded. Safety comes first. 2. Define the policy. 3 minutes. Open a secure note on your phone or carry a small index card. Write down the relevant policy number, contract clause, or specific legal right. If dealing with family, write the specific asset, e.g., the deed to 123 Elm Street, recorded 1982. Write down one neutral phrase. I need the person in charge and a copy of the policy. Or, please show me the section of the will that confirms that. 3. Prepare the proof. 3 minutes. Locate your proof. The deed, the key, the contract, the company badge, the saved email. Hold it for a moment. Feel its weight. This proof is not aggressive. It is leverage. Open your phone camera or audio recorder shortcut. Ensure the time and location settings are active. The proof that ends the excuse is always documented. 4. Adopt the delivery. 2 minutes. Practice your delivery in a low, even tone. Authority resides in a low frequency. Steady your eyes. Avoid rapid movements. Remember, 3 calm steps, 1 loud result. If confrontation elevates, respect your limits. Avoid physical confrontation at all costs. Document and escalate via formal channels. The police, protective services, the company HR, or legal counsel. Laws vary wildly based on your location. Adapt the process, but never compromise documentation. Here's what is the challenge. The bias that costs the house, the job, or the dignity thrives on surprise and chaos. We fight it with calm, courage, and receipts. Your job today is not to fight the last injustice, but to prepare for the next. Choose one small action. 1. Save the policy numbers for your condo HOA rules on your phone. 2. Set a recording shortcut on your phone's home screen. 3. Practice one calm procedural phrase. I need the policy number and the authorized signature. 4. Choose one ally, a lawyer, a family member, or a colleague, who can review your evidence before you act. Comment below with the action you chose and the scenario. Workplace, family, housing. You want us to prepare for next. The path to dignity is paved with documentation.